The utility, G2 with a full armor buy.
Already for Tyloo, they've gone and sent 4 players over here towards B, leaving somebody over in mid. Not sure who. Actually, the CH said Luke background to join him, but look at this aggression from MBK. He's got so much information on the back of this. He's cleared out all of this initial push out towards A, and that's allowed this rotate to come in from G2. They've got everyone inside the B-bomb site, and Tyloo in danger of walking into the waiting maws of the French beast that is lurking inside this B-bomb site. They're going to go charging on in. Apex in the corner, but to find it first is going to fall prey to somebody on the entry. Gets himself 2. Shoxy within the site, the man to go down now. It's all on Kenny, tapping away with the USP. Gets himself 3. And it all falls onto somebody. 1v1, bomb dropped out in the open. Kenny has full control of it. Somebody just waiting over in CT. Oh, no. Kenny about to walk into this. Kenny shot in the back, goes for the flick for somebody in with the triple. Clutches that one out to win Tyloo the pistol.
That could have been scary there. You can see he was almost about to whiff the shot, but what a great round from somebody. A 3K to pick it up, and Tyloo starting off on good footing. It's going to be G2 to try and force things up, or maybe just go for the standard eco that we have been seeing. Yeah, it's actually going to be that. Oh, it's a bit of a mix buy. We got a bit of everything here. Body saving. We've got no. Okay, screw it. Just fully invest. Kenny saving a little bit for the AWP. BK saving a bit of cash as well. Rest of them buying up almost fully here as Tyloo got themselves a lot of rifles to play with. Not playing this one very at all dangerously, and instead choosing to go for the safer route. Deep into mid, trying to look for the entry. It's going to be Shoxy towards Sandbags here, waiting for the timing to peek. He spots him, doesn't go for the shot. He's just playing off information here. Finally will strike, and he takes the kill. G2, the man advantage.
Yeah, the only issue is Shoxy is very much trapped in this position here by Sandbags. Team going to be rotating in to try and help out MBK. The man poised with the deke, spotted out in mid. Multiple players for G2. Some way able to get him burn out. Apex does put us back to a 4-4, going for a little bit more out in mid, doing the damage downrange with the AK. He doesn't land anything just yet. They're going to go ahead and rotate in towards the B-bomb site. 3 players here, leaving 1 on the flank. That is going to be Captain Mo. Body. The 5-7, wreaking some havoc. Not going to go down just yet. Finally finished off by Bintet. Shoxy falls as well.
Damage has been done though. MBK not going to be able to get anything, so it's Kenny S falling from the heavens as MBK rotates back in through. Captain's so tagged up as well. This is a great opportunity for MBK to be able to get himself a quick kill. If he can drop Captain Mo and then move towards the site, it's a doable situation, but the bomb's planted, and Bunta has enough health to work with. The rifles outranging the Deagle here as MBK sits in the heavens, spots him. The damage will come through, and he will fall down. As expected, Tyloo will be closing out that second round, but it gets a little bit too close for comfort. Good work done by G2, but it is still going to be a single eco coming in before they fully commit, and this is where Tyloo have to make the decision. Do we want to go for nadeless AKs, or do we want to do this? And this is what I like to see. They bring in a UMP, a Mac 10 to farm up cash, and a Tech 9, so they don't have to reinvest in a rifle that they may lose.
And Hugo, I'm going to be honest with you, I confess to you I haven't seen the most of Tyloo playing. You know, I've been doing stuff a lot of times whenever the games have been on. But right now, I mean, the one player I have heard a lot about and have seen a lot from is Bunta, and he's living up to that on this flank. It's going to be all the G2 running into the waiting arms of Didi with that UMP. They're going to be mopping up some more, and they're just making money right now. It's all going to be on Shoxy. He does manage to get one. Somebody coming in from behind his life expectancy about half a second as he desperately tries to stay alive. 1 HP in a dream, and he will be finished off. Tyloo in with that third. They convert all 3. Make some decent money in that round as well. And now G2 can come in with the buy. Going to be able to get the AWP as well. Up on Kenny. Actually go for the double AWP.
Yeah, we did see MBK eco that second round. He only bought himself a Deagle, so I was expecting something to come in. I just thought he was going for more utility, but no, the AWP comes in. Stack of nades as well, crossing across most of these players on the CT side, and Kenny and Shox both picking those up. This is a team that love to utilize that double AWP play. We have Shoxy pushed up over in B main, looking for a bit of a pick. Tyloo are about to walk in, but they smoke it off. They know the potential. Molly comes in as well to deny any presence to peek out through this checkers area, and Shoxy, shaking in anger, isn't going to be able to get himself a first pick. Shed in the meantime, he's snuck into the site, and while Shoxy will strike, he's going to be wrapped from the back. Except is there, Spots tries to convert the spray, but body trades, and we're back into a 4-on-3 for G2 in the favour.
Bomb over in mid. Going to be joining up with Didi. On his lonesome, somebody up in over here towards A, just waiting at Squeaky to see if any aggression does come out, and it hasn't. Just letting this timer tick on down, waiting to see if they can find any sort of advantage, if G2 will happily hand one over. And it looks like G2 going to make the decision now to rotate Apex off of B into middle. This is the right call to make. He's now only a little bit away from rotating in MBK in A main. Here's those flashes coming on through. You can see that Apex going to be the first man on the scene. MBK just waiting over here at forklift, and now as the push comes in, Kenny able to find the first and the second. He's going in for a little bit more, wants to try and make it 3, but Mintet does find some damage. Able to pick up the first. MBK goes down. He's still alive and kicking within the site, playing it around the smoke, playing it perfectly. Apex now hits the deck. There's only 20 seconds left. And Kenny had to run away. It will be the 1-on-2 with both these players tagged down extremely low. Bomb plant going to come on in. Mintet in the 1v2 first, has to try and deal with the player over at truck. It is going to be Body, doesn't want to peek on out as he's just locking down the angle, takes the peek, and Body will punish him for it. Tries to cross back into A main and will be shut down. And that is going to be G2 with their first round.
See, G2 know exactly what they're playing against, right? Tyloo are a team that love to overpeak and love to take engagements, much as how kind of Space Soldiers did over the previous matchup on this map. These are teams that ruin other teams of their level in their region, Space Soldiers and Tyloo respectively, so they love taking gunfights. Obviously, there was a situation where we needed to see Mintet get himself a pick to try and turn it into a one-on-one, but G2 knew exactly what was up, and combined with the double AWP just scoped up, holding angles and waiting for him to make that fight, because they knew he would. They knew he'd try and bring it back. So good control from G2, good patience there in the post plant, and now we will see finally a round win coming in for them, and all two saved, and none brought up for the side of Tyloo as rifles coming across the board. Aside from somebody, vent control going to be held from Body. A bit of a heavy B setup it seems. There's 2 players there, but one on the fast rotation as Apex is stuck over towards the sandbags. We have Tyloo also contending that into middle as they go for a fast push. First comes out from Mo, dropping Apex as a Molotov forces him into the open, but Body trades and gets burnt out of his position respectively. Has to fall back, and Tyloo looking to split A.
Yeah, here's Kenny though, he can make all the difference. Actually gets caught out on scope, goes for the no-scope, does find damage, but it's going to fall. Bomb plant now going to come in for Tyloo as Body and Shoxy. In the 2-on-4, Shox on the flank. Has to first attempt with somebody who misses that shot. He's going to go down into the 2-on-3 we go, and now things get a little bit more interesting. Shoxy on this flank in 3 main can do so much damage right now. Everyone stacked up within the site. The Molotov going to burn out this boost as both the players tag down low, but Shox can't capitalize. Instead, it's Body to step up and Captain Mo trade things out, and that is going to be Tyloo in with a 4.
This is what we're talking about, Harry. This is what we said. There's always that potential for upset for Tyloo, and it's happening. We're early days, but still 4-1 in. G2 getting hard reset after their first buy when they just had pistols coming into this round. Tyloo with plenty of money to buy up as well, and stuff to fall back on if needed. Not a huge amount of cash, but it's enough to get the job done. As G2, they can't even invest a penny. They've just got full default pistols here, no utility. This is the kind of round where I like to see a flashbang brought up, a bit of an aggressive style push up on the CT side, but it's not going to come on through. It's Tyloo, take that mid control, Mintet opening up, and BK gets dropped to Tyloo. They can just burst into the B side. This is a communication issue we talked about. We just saw a team flash into the checkers when Mintet has already taken control. This is hopefully not going to come back to haunt Tyloo, but it doesn't seem to be doing so in this round. A clean sweep is on the cards. Only 1 player left on the site, but they haven't spotted him. No, doesn't matter. G2, either way, still able to reinvest. Utility is going to be held back a little bit. We don't have a kit coming in as well. MBK has cash for it. Hopefully he'll be able to buy it up because he doesn't seem to have gone for it just yet. No, focusing on the nades there. That seemed like he almost asked his team to come in with a bit of an idea because he didn't buy up any kit. The CT side. Oh, that just seems weird here. Tyloo have been pretty effective in getting onto these sites so far, so to see no kit for the CT side is a bit of an issue, but that's even worse. Body running into main, flashed out, and HZ opening up.
Man advantage gathered early on here for Tyloo. They slowed right down though since picking that one up, and as they do so, now going to look to push up Shoxy in towards A main. Spots that no one's here. Actually, they're going to be boosting a player up in mid. Tyloo changing their sights with the wind in their sails. Now look to try and seize control of mid. 2 players boosted up. Kenny rotating on in. He could be the player to put a stop to this madness, but no, smoked off, has to fall back, and that's mid control Now handed over to Tyloo. Apex is still here, going to make things a bit tricky. Doesn't let them have mid for free. So he does get that trade better late than never onto HZ. And now, Tyloo looking to try and change their mind. Back out towards A. Shox. He's pushed up here. We're going to fall to Mo on the AK. And as they drop him out, looks like they're just going to try and go fast out towards A, which is the right call to make. No one within the site. Apex rotating up highway. He could be the difference maker. Has to try and find this first. But Mo, even though he's tagged low, just tapping on heads for days. Gets himself a second. Bomb plant going to be coming on in, and now it'll force into MBK and Kenny.
And somebody not even taking the fight, going to fall back as well, not granting a pick here to G2, because if they got one, it would allow them into the site far quicker. Being said though, MBK not going to get a thing, and Kenny being 3 points of health, they're going to have to fall back. It will be the round going to Tyloo once again, Harry. 6-1? At what point do we consider this out of control? What point do we say that G2 are starting to let it slip?
Kenny trying to hold on to the AWP. Oh, there you go, down goes somebody. Still got the AWP in hand. He's looking fantastic. I know where it is, but they're too far away. I don't want to risk throwing any more weapons the way of Kenny S. AK picked up for MBK. Tyloo, though, in with another round on the board. They're on 6 right now, and G2 once again with no money in those bank accounts. Leaves them in a bit of an awkward situation. Pause called in. And this is where things get a little bit tricky if you are G2. Currently, they reside 5 rounds behind. And they are going to be taking that tack pause.
I think at this point they are having issues with economy, right? Because Tyloo just seems to be shutting them down on every single buy. It's not even resets coming in. It's just straight up dominance. This is similar to how we saw Space Soldiers compete against SK. But again, you can't get too ahead of yourself, right? Because Tyloo may have this great T side. They may end up 12-3 like Space Soldiers. But we look at that previous map, and as soon as G2 switch over to their T side, if they get enough rounds to fall back on it, we could realistically see something strong for G2. We could see Tyloo have that issue with CT communication that we do see. Because while we talk about that T-side prominence, especially the ability to be able to win these aim battles, you know, look at Bintet and Mo to be able to do this. When you switch over to that CT side, it's obviously a lot about aim battles, but a lot about communication as well, about working out what you want to do as a team. So moving over to that side and trying to, you know, adjust rotations and retaking and trying to communicate with flashbangs, etc., it's very, very hard to get the job done here for the side of Tyloo when they move over to CT.
That is very true, but right now the ball is in G2's court to try and keep themselves in this. Of course, they are going to face issues on that CT side when you look over at Tyloo, but G2, that's all well and good, but first they have to get CT side rounds of their own. It's going to be the case that they've got the 2 Catalyst rifles, the AWP up on Kenny, MBK in with the AK, and it looks like Tyloo are thinking about hitting this A-bomb site. They've got 2 players over in Squeaky, 2 waiting outside of A with the player boosted up mid. They're going to flash on through. They spot the player out in the corner. It takes dead, but Body's got walking straight past Mo. He's able to get himself 1, but Shoxy trades it back. Players coming on in to try and keep this in the advantage of Tyloo. Fully blind, DD trying to find them, and they just walk into his bullets. Apex deciding life is too much to bear. Goes down in the crossfire. MBK with his rifle peeks on out in mid and drops somebody. And now it's Kenny and MBK. 2v2. Double D and Bintet still alive and kicking. They've got themselves the bomb. They've got 40 seconds left to play with. Only 1 Molotov, which is less utility than G2. They've got themselves a smoke and 2 flashes. But the tricky part is there's that player still stuck over in Squeaky.
See, that's the thing. They have no utility to make a fake play, and with no time as well, they've got to just both commit towards a site. It will be A. G2 going to decide to split up, and Kenny doing the perfect play. I was about to say this. I hope he goes in for the retake, because if they're moving one player towards B, Kenny can't afford to go down in the site without a pick. Now he's in a position where he can even drop the bomb realistically if he hits a shot, and he won't. Just missing the tip of Bintet as he makes his way towards a site. The plant is going to come through, and Kenny can't stop it. That's so unfortunate, but at least they can 2-on-2 retake. MBK and Kenny S coming back in, pushing him from separate positions, and still the AWP is going to be a difficult one, but if you want any AWP on your team, it's going to be Kenny here, pushing in towards quad. Tyloo not peeking, and that's a safe way to play. There's no reason to play over-aggressive as a T-side. The flash will come through, MBK takes 1, but DD will trade, and now it's all on Kenny. Running towards the site, but DD overfacing it, somehow works out, and he will take the kill and the round, but what a risky move from DD.
Yeah, the saviour of that round gets himself a 4K and keeps Tyloo in this. Look at this, right? There's a man, can't even see, but he still makes it work. He's fully flashed at this point, and he's still cutting down G2 like it's nothing. And this is one of the top 5 teams in the world. It is going to be Tyloo in with his 7th.
Ooh,
Kenny, hello?
Couple of PC issues, I can imagine. Hopefully, if anything's going to happen...
No, he's not good. Okay. He's fine. He's just going along.
Having a drink.
And looks like me boosting a player up in mid, trying to spot this out. HZ is the man up in A main. Been allowed to get 2 players out in middle though, and with the double up set up, this lax mid control is very interesting. Apex going to go down. The man advantage grabbed for Tyloo. Shoxy and MBK able to go ahead and take 2 in return. In the B bomb site, he's going to be tagged, but he's still fighting for his life. Shox finally goes down as Bintek gets himself 2 in return, and suddenly we're into a 1-on-2. He's got a minute left to play with, so much time, and now he's going to fall back.
They think he's committing to B. They don't know yet that he's actually rotating all the way around through T-spawn. He's done this so fast that MBK is still in position. Now they're going to start to realize this is a possibility. MBK sits in middle, and they're just going to play the B site. Typically, if you're the CTs in this situation, you commit to the site you're on because you don't want to get caught out rotating if Bintek has pushed through. He'll go for the bomb plant safely, and then we'll see 2v1 as they push towards the site. He makes his way there. He knows it's clear. Open plant will come through, and this is good because he can hold this from pretty much anywhere on the site. Goes and opens a squeaky door, but he won't commit to pushing in through it as he goes back towards main. I like this position. This is a bit of an off angle, but G2 still have 2 players.
Yeah, he's just going to be holding it. Bintek playing it very, very cautiously. Playing up on the boost. Opened up Squeaky to try and build the illusion that that's where he is. And now both players on the site running that clock down low. Bintek in with the peak. Both players on the site. Defuse going to be coming on him, but around the corner, and Kenny finishes him off. Defuse to come in for G2, and there's just enough time left for them to get it.
But why is my question? Why did he go for that initial peak? He had the site. They weren't tapping the bomb. They weren't committing to it. He could have just sat there and waited, and then suddenly he goes for the peak, and they win it by a millisecond. Bintek could have won that round so easily. It's just it's the over-aggression that we see on Tyloo. Time and time again, they take fights they just really don't need to take, and this is going to come back to haunt them eventually. G2 get themselves another round on the board that was a clutchable situation for Bintek, but at least he got it close. At least he took money off of the side of G2, because that's what's important. They're not going to be able to build up a bank to play with on the CT side. And Tyloo, they're only going to need a couple of rounds, or just this round in and of itself, to get that hard reset and to crush the French economy. This is something Tyloo have been very, very good at doing so far. Keeping a stranglehold of the CT cash. Can they do it before it comes back to bite them themselves?
Over in mid, Apex peeking on out. Right now, Tyloo just taking this round very, very slowly, not wanting to fall prey to any early aggression coming in from G2, waiting to see if it does come out so they can find that man advantage. Apex still playing solo over in mid, something which Tyloo have made a prominent part of their T-side setup. Flashing on out. You can already see that Apex has been relegated on back, and now the push comes out in mid. 2 players to try and grab control of this while they rotate that bomb over to B. Somebody going to open up Squeaky, gets their attention fixated on it, and in through the smoke. Captain Mo goes down. Apex dancing around the smoke, still alive and kicking, able to get himself 1. No trade frag in sight. The bomb. As well as one other support player over here towards B. Shoxy takes the peek down. He goes as Bintek opens things up, charging in towards this site. They go pushing on through, but Apex is already here to try and snuff this one out. It all falls onto Bintek, who somehow wanted to get himself 3, trying to get more work done, but Apex, raining from above like an angel sent from heaven, picks that round up for G2.
Another pause coming out, and I can only imagine this is Tyloo here, and this is actually nice to see. This is a team that's never really been too heavy on their pauses. They've never really called them out, and after only losing 2 in a row, they actually just go for it. They're like, no, we don't want G2 to start gaining momentum. Let's just take a second to take a break. And I can imagine this is obviously due to the addition of Peacemaker, right? Because he will be standing behind them at this event. He will be helping them out, coaching how he can. And obviously, while you know, you can say what you want about Peacemaker. I guess he's been doing the opposite of peacemaking in NA. Maybe he'll be able to work out with Tyloo here. Maybe he'll be able to, you know, instill some confidence into these guys and not let them, you know, receive a bit of a comeback from the side of G2. They've got their T side in the bag. They've done what they need to do. At this point, anything they just get on top of that is just, you know, gravy.
And who doesn't love a bit of gravy in, I get, what hand is it, the morning or the afternoon? I don't actually have the time. Whatever time of day it is, gravy's always good. Gravy on everything.
Look at Binset right now, 17 and 5.
He's actually phenomenal. But living up to our expectations. G2 got themselves the MP9 on body. He's clearly feeling a little bit frisky. Body and Apex taking the aggression in B, and no one from Tyloo ready for this. They could catch these players off in mid completely unaware. Luckily enough, they missed those shots onto DD. Does now force him back into the waiting arms of Body. Think he heard him hop up there. So they have an idea that someone's working around from behind. DD just holds the angle. Body, you know, Ninja trying to play this one smart. Does find the first out on a DD. That's $600 made with fantastic SMG. And now, I mean, when you look at it, Tyloo aren't in a great spot. They've got players worked into the backline. Ideally, they could try and capitalize on the fact that Body's push so aggressive and use this to, you know, find themselves in a 4-on-4. But they're just going to completely leave him, and this has allowed Apex now to push on up as well. They've got 2 players waiting in the backline, which leaves them just sandwiched in between this A-bomb site, between layers of G2 players. And they're going to go charging on out. Shocks holding this from Quad. Actually going to fall at the first hurdle. It's Kenny to have to try and step up and turn this one back around. Body on the flank. Somebody going to be going for the bomb plant, and he will manage to get it. Still alive within the site in the 1v4. Finished off by Kenny. But they get themselves the bomb plant, and that was their mission there.
Yeah, I mean, they invested more than 800, so they're probably hoping for a little bit more, maybe in terms of getting a couple of kills, taking money away, maybe even saving a gun. But at the end of the day, you know, considering the situation they were put into, that kill into Shocks towards the back of Quad is very important, because, as you say, it allows them to get that bomb plant, allows them to get themselves back into, you know, a buy in this one. And now they will have the option for the AWP, but don't choose to go with it. 4 rifles come out here for the Tyloo side. G2 still remaining strong with that AA WP. 3 in a row for the CT side now, looking to try and bring things back into contention. As Tyloo themselves, they're letting things slip, but again, now we see it by first time in, you know, 2 rounds, hoping that they'll be able to get a little bit more done here.
Going to be seeing aggression from Kenny. Somebody is actually waiting for this. And Kenny, this is a little bit much. He will go down. Man advantage grab now for Tyloo. Just handed to them on a silver platter there from Kenny, as somebody's passive positioning at Squeaky does pay off. And now for Tyloo, they've got themselves the man advantage. This is very much their round to lose. As we can see, it's somewhat changed the direction of what it was they were doing. They're going to leave that default with players holding every major avenue, and it looks like instead they're going to be sending players over towards A and boosting someone up in mid. Shocks answering with aggression over at B.
Oh, great shot from DD. That's the second AWP removed. And now G2, who are already playing a retake setup on A, are going to have to pull MBK back even further. He moves back towards Car. The smoke's raining deep. Tyloo know exactly what setup G2 are going for, and those picks facilitated that, but they don't expect MBK on top. 2 for him as he jumps on top of the electric box, looking for a third, but somebody enters the site with a quick kill. It's a 3-on-2. Tyloo have made this one far more doable, and now control of the site is going to be taken. Binset will cross with the bomb, making his way to the site, and DD even catching rotations. They check their angles, but they don't expect him to be here, and now he'll be handling him from behind. They have no idea that he's just going to sneak up behind them and wreck Face as he moves on in. There's the first frame away, but he doesn't connect. Only damage. The trade comes through as Body finds a kill, but this leaves just Apex on the site. First one trying to spray, but somebody picks up both, and that's 4 in the round for somebody. He has been going off.
I mean, you know, these 2 players just really stepping up right now, and somebody delivering the performance we would expect, you know, from the real Body over on G2. What is it with us getting the games where players have...
Eco, Body, somebody...
I mean, you know, yeah, that one's perhaps a little bit more out there, but still. It's going to be the case that this time for Tyloo, bit of a change in pace as they send 4 players over towards A, just straight out through mid. It's DD, and he's been allowed to work his way up towards Vents. MBK Does spot him out. He's able to connect that shot, but now comes out the flank from Squeaky. MBK able to get a little bit more work done. Still alive, causing some serious problems over towards Highway. Oh, Bintek caught in midair. Is going to hit the deck, leaving this all on somebody. 1v4. Has himself the bomb, peeks on out. And he's looking to try and leave a legacy here in the 1v4. Able to find the first, turns it into the 1v3, but now he's been tagged down to a measly 10 HP. MBK turns him into somebody that I used to know.
I mean, I was about to make a song joke. I was kind of expecting that. Somebody did tell me the world was going to roll me, so... It's
you had
worse.
to take it...
It's even worse.
Mind fit. Well, anyway, welcome to the B stream. Tyloo.
This is why we're not in Cologne, Harry. This is why we're not in Cologne.
Yeah.
Not our apparent lack of skill.
G2, well, they've gone and got themselves 5 rounds. Looking to try and get a couple more. Aggression in towards A main will be spotted out, and actually, this is fairly good for Tyloo. They've got players over in Squeaky now, can try pincer out from behind. If they can meet these two players, not with Kenny here. The man to put a stop to everything, crush his dreams under his heel. He manages to get himself 2 with some support from MBK. They mop that round up. And now G2 in with a 6. Let's not forget, but this was a 1-7 scoreline at a point, so G2 have done a fantastic job of pulling this one back.
Yeah, that's what I said. Tyloo can't get too comfortable here. After that pause, it looked like maybe they could have brought things back. They picked up a round, but that was it. And they fell apart. Tyloo starting to, lose, but at least they've got the half. At least they've got the favour as they pick up 8. But looking to make it a 9th on the half as they force buy things up. A couple of UMPs, a couple of Galils, an AK as well. Utility isn't too bad. At least they focused on getting that. That's something that some teams, don't focus on, that, especially on the T side. They just go for rifles and try and get entries. But Tyloo looking to go for a bit of a set execute down towards B. Smokes and Molotovs are going to be lined up here from the T side. With only 2 defenders, one of them playing very close. This could be great for Shoxy. He could get complete spray down. He's playing anti-flash, but it still get blinded as he pushes on in through the smoke. The kill comes out from Body. Shox will finally strike, but he has no need to because Body has got himself 4 running on in. It's Shoxy to close out, and we're focusing on the wrong person, ladies and gentlemen. Body is going off. G2, 7 rounds in. They don't even lose a player for that half, and Tyloo will make it 8.
For that half, for that round? Just to me, yeah, no, it's fine.
They did lose some players.
I shouldn't have pointed that out, but yeah, it did throw me a little bit. But speaking of throwing a little bit, we're going to go ahead and throw this one over to a very quick break, around about 2 minutes, and then we'll be back in with the second half. An 8-7 first half does not get closer than that. Fantastic stuff thus far, and it only looks to get better as we prepare to head into the second half. Hugo, what have been your thoughts, feelings, emotions thus far?
Bintet and somebody making me emotional, as always, as they always do. Very, very good players, but again, we haven't closed out the map. I'll be interested to see how the Betway odds are swayed now after this, dominant scoreline for Tyloo, in the sense that they're coming into this one as massive underdogs. Either way, 8 rounds on the half, going into their CT side, and very heavy mid presence. I like this from Tyloo, throwing in something new. They go for the boost on top of the box and they move towards the vent. This is good because they're also playing for retake on A, and if a B play comes in, they're going to have really quick rotations through vents. So G2, not going to expect this, but at the moment, the setup at the T side, it's not like looking like it will hurt them either.
G2 rotating these guys back. Looks like they were going to go out through mid, but now they've changed their mind. Instead, focusing on what looks to be the A-bomb site. All 5 players making their way towards A main and Squeaky. Kenny and Squeaky on his lonesome. The rest of the guys out through A main. They're going to throw off this smoke. It's going to block out Mo, so he can't get anything done. I'm going to find something in through the smoke. Actually spots the first. The smoke hasn't rained in just yet, and it actually misses its mark. So allowed him to land some shots, but he didn't find any damage just yet. Bomb plant going to come on through as Tyloo now have to retake this in a 5v5. There's still Shoxy in the back line. Players setting up with the afterplants. They've had plenty of time to get into them. Now it's just, can Tyloo retake this site?
Push on in. First player going to be spotted. Body spamming away, and he will connect with the headshot on the VD as Kenny strikes as well. It's MBK to pick up 1, but still the Chinese reign supreme. They will pick up 3 for 2 as Bintet goes big. HZ drop towards the site, and Kenny doing damage on the back of quad as well. It'll be G2 to pick it up on the post plant, and 8 rounds going to be found here from the French side, bringing it back into even Stevens, Harry. Very, very close as per usual. But I love the mid setup for Tyloo, because typically, right, you see that the default, play for retake on A, and you just mean you have a bit of pressure in mid, a bit of pressure in B, and then one player sitting towards car. Instead of that, Tyloo just focus. All right, we're just going to stack mid. If anyone hits mid, we'll completely ruin them. If anyone goes B, we have fast rotations through the vents, and if anyone goes A, we just play the standard car retake. So it's a good from Tyloo to see, but it doesn't quite work out.
Yeah, and speaking of aggression, the G2 trade is here. They've actually slowed right down. Oh, they allow Mo to pick that one up with the Deeg. Some fancy hand cannon shots from him. They're going to try and get more work done. It's going to be on his lonesome once again inside the A-bomb site. Everyone from G2, they've just been held back. And Deeg roaring into action is enough to keep these guys at bay. And well, speaking of bay, where is Bintet? Right now he's waiting over in mid. Him and HZ can be up on the fast rotate. It's Mo within the site. The pop flash comes through to allow him to take that peek. He finds a bit of damage, gets the info, but close within the site is going to be Apex. Shoxy helps out. Apex darting around with the MP7, finding damage. Bintet able to go ahead and get himself one, switches out to the USP, and then will be dropped, leaving this all on DD in a 1v3. Deeg in hand. Hopefully never mind, can't even make the joke. MBK just completely annihilates him, and that terrible pun I was about to make, never going to see the light of day as a result.
Thank God. 9-8. Eco now for Tyloo. Can't really invest in too much. With a bit of cash on some of these CTs, you could be seeing a flashbang or a PT50, but really just play safe. Maybe a flashbang to go for a fast burst play on the CT side, but nothing going to come in other than a PT50 on Mo. Just an eco from Tyloo. It's G2. They play it safe as well. Apex doesn't even invest. He just sticks to the P250. Kenny S, he goes from Mac 10 himself, and now we'll see G2 just starting to walk on into B. Tyloo on the other side. Ready and waiting. It's somebody who's going to make first contact. Spots the first damage off. He's not going to connect enough shots. Apex getting tagged down though, and no kill in return. Finally, MBK will strike, and Bintet from the heavens picking off Kenny S. But again, it's a small consolation. Tyloo unlikely to be able to gain anything into this round, and Shoxy will make it so. Drops Captain Mo. And while a couple of players are low on G2, they shouldn't be overextending. Just leave the job to MBK and Body, and they should be able to close out the round.
Yeah, they're going to boost MBK up. Bintet just waiting in the corner. We saw, actually in that first pistol round, he stayed in this exact same place, but he was able to finish off Kenny. And now him and HZ, they have this crossfire set up. If G2 do come a knocking, then there are 2 players here to try and shut them down, do some damage, but it will ultimately be a 10th either way for the Frenchman. A 2-round lead now over Tyloo. Viable to come in the next round, however, will be their chance to start to put some rounds up on their CT side. The one issue I'm seeing, something that we've said is an issue for Tyloo, is that they're very reliant on Bintet, and also, in this game, to an extent, somebody. And it's a lot harder to have those kind of solo carry players on your CT side.
Exactly right, because if you have it on the T side, just set him up towards the site, let him run in, do his damage, switch him over to CT. G2 can just avoid him. They know where Bintet is playing, they can just hit another area of the map, and that's a safer way to do it. Force Bintet into clutch situations, which he shouldn't be winning the majority of the time, and then G2 will be able to close up the map. It's very likely that we may see that going into the second half. Shoxy, though, over in main, bit of a fast play. Smoke will come down, that will hold him off for getting any kind of pick for the side of G2. Instead, these Cs now have to hold their default with no aggression coming in. They do take a bit of B main control, but again, there is going to be a bit of a fight back from Tyloo as they have two players over towards the checkers area. Apex looking to walk on in with the AK. This could be dangerous here. He does get caught out though. DD over event strikes finally, and Shoxy will return fire onto Captain Mo, but it's not going to be enough because it's traded again. Back and forth we go into a 3-on-3 as the kills flurry across mid, but DD pushes in through the smoke of vents and takes down body, pulling it back for Tyloo.
DD in mid could be the difference maker. Gets himself one. Kenny misses that key shot, and then it's going to fall as a result. The double up set up in play and a 4K for DD. In that one, Tyloo looking to try and prove us wrong about their CT side performances as they do go ahead and win that round out. Now, in the long run, might not have led to much economic damage in the grand scheme of things, as G2 can afford to buy up once again, but this will be their last buy. If they lose this one, they will have to eco in the next.
I think it's a great way for Tyloo to get themselves back into this map, because if they take this, it'll be 10-10, and G2 will be eco for a single round. So 11-10 likely on the board if Tyloo can just crush this once more. On the flip side, G2 pick it up, suddenly it's a reset. Suddenly Tyloo have no cash to play with, and this double up investment is going to go astray. It's a very tense moment for both these teams, a pinnacle one in fact for this half, and deciding how the remainder of this is going to go.
Pushing out through mid. They boosted a player up, it's Kenny. Bintet waiting. Push him out to come out into middle. Kenny spotted and eliminated by Bintet. He's looking to try and get more work done. The flashes rain in. Body's nearby to try and trade this one back, but for the time being, he's held in the corner. The Molotov can force him out of the open, but he does manage to get the trade. DD collapses down onto him. And that will be the man advantage return now in favor of Tyloo. In response, G2 send the remaining players out towards A.
Yeah, and the smoke take comes in through. Tyloo just setting up for the retake here. Not looking to contend with this one, but Captain Mo in through the smoke does drop MBK down towards the forklift. There's a trade coming through onto H-Jet, but a 3-on-2 still going to favour Tyloo here. As we see these Ts get into their post plant. A Molotov and an HE remains for the side of G2, and still the double up intact for Tyloo, which may make things a little more difficult. Shoxy may be able to peek out onto Mo. If he goes to the timing shot here, Mo will be dead. Instead, they start to cross towards the site, and Apex will strike. There's the first. Mo gets dropped. Shoxy as well following up, and Apex will close out. Tyloo don't even get a kill on the retake, and G2, they're going to pick up the round, and this is why I talked about it. G2 picked that up. Tyloo's money is crushed. A pause is needed, and a pause will be made. How much can you do if you're Peacemaker right now?
Yeah, they are going to be struggling just a little bit. I mean, right now, right, they don't really have the money to invest. At the same time, you've got two players that are on the double eco anyway, right? So your options are you either kind of force buy down on the players which can afford it, or no, because I mean, you're double eco regardless, right? So yeah. I imagine we're going to see them force into this round. We might see Bintet keep a little bit more money so they can go for that alt buy if they'd like. Or we could see him pick up a Catalyst rifle, which I think would be interesting, right? He's kind of the one player that could easily make that work.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing the majority of these CT rounds fall off the back of individual performance. We saw that 4K round from DD and Vents. Stuff like that is what Tyloo depend upon a lot of the time, especially as we were saying at the half in the hands of Bintet and a little bit on somebody this match. So, yeah, that's very much potential. We could see that, but instead they're just going to safe eco it, not even forcing here. Now, this is interesting because it's a double eco regardless, so they can invest, but they'd rather a full buy coming into their next. And they've been pretty unsuccessful on these ecos, so it doesn't really surprise me too much to not see Tyloo invest here.
MBK holding the angle over at B. He's here on his lonesome. Tyloo could be walking out of his crosshair any second now. He's got body over towards Vents along with Apex, who can come in to help out if he does start to get rushed by these CT players. Body looking curious as to what Vents has in store. Peeking on through, doesn't spot anyone in checkers immediately, but little does he know it. 4 players But Tyloo currently reside on the other side. Apex, in the meantime, making his way up towards A. Somebody up in the vents could do this all day. Body shuts him down, goes for a second, trying to get more work done, finding a boatload of damage. And now I think the ruse is up. They know that there's more players within the B-bomb site. They're expecting a stack, especially when you consider how far Apex got up towards the A-bomb site. Now he's in the back line. It's risky having him here, but they shouldn't see this coming. Sneaking on up. Everyone unaware within B. And from this position, right, even if they both the players up in vents, he's still going to do damage onto that player who tries to rotate on off. Body's waiting in mid. This is perfect from G2. Oh, saying that. G2 ain't able to get one. DD does find the first. Apex now collapses on him from behind and Shoxy trades that out. G2 in with a 12th.
Such a weird round for Tyloo though, because they go for that stack and instantly G2 figure it out, right? We see Apex make his way up through A, they rotate the bomb, they get a couple of kills over in vents, and then the Tyloo players just play stagnant. They don't decide to rotate, they don't decide to make any kind of move, they just sit in B and wait for G2 to push them, but you know that's never going to happen. G2 aren't going to be, you know, oh, let's bring the bomb to B, we've just killed 3 players on an eco. You know there's a stat going on there if you've got 3 kills on a site. So weird to see Tyloo still commit towards that B site and not try and make any, you know, moves to try and move into middle, catch any CT or Ts rumbling around the map. Instead they just sit on B and just get pounded. So now going into this, it's looking a lot more confident here for G2. And this is going to be a good way to start off. MBK, fully blind, takes down DD. Molotov going out for Kenny. He won't be able to rally off with that one as a counter smoke is placed by Tyloo. But still, G2 have got that first pick up, make it a second as well. And right now, Harry, this is just turning out to be a dominant map for G2 as we move into the second half.
Yeah, every single turn, it seems like Tyloo are getting ruined. In the blink of an eye this round, all falls onto Captain Mo, who 1v5 with a Famus by his side, trapped over in A main. Really struggling to keep his team in the game. Makes his way over towards Highway, just trying to stay alive in this scenario. Apex, around in the corner, 2 players. He was a bit of the first, but looks away a little too fast, and Apex will be able to trade that one out. In with a 13th, it's G2, keeping 4 players alive. They've got so much money built up on that T side. It's looking fairly grim right now if you're a Tyloo fan.
Every time you believe, man, every time you believe in the Tyloo win, this happens. It comes back to haunt you. They had a great start of a half, 7-1, ended 8-7, and now it's 13-9. Never believe in Tyloo. It's such a shame, man. Either way, it's not over yet. They've still got a bye coming up after this, but if they don't get any work done with that one, I think you've got to count them out at this point. Kenny shutting down Eco time after time. So he picks up the first kill onto Mo. It's going to be his Deagle retrieve there, but not exactly a saviour to the side of Tyloo. HZ will pick that up and move back towards the site. G2 still remaining stagnant. They're still waiting for Tyloo to bring something, because typically, if you're on that CT side and you lose that first pick, it's very common for you to push up and try and get another kill, you know, try and trade things back out. That's exactly what G2 are waiting for.
Somebody's just hugging this door. Shox. Oh, he just knows. Down goes somebody. You don't ever stand there when Shox is around. He will fall at the first hurdle. Now Binset over in mid has himself the dig, looking for the first. Apex walks into the crosshair, but comes up trumps in the duel, looking to try and get more work done within the site. It's HZ, although not for much longer, and now it's just DD on his lonesome in CT. Apex, just some casual aim training for him, tapping away on the heads, and that is now a 14th for G2. Pause called in. What did Tyloo do, Hugo? I'm looking at you with these blank eyes. That's a very hard question.
I've got blank eyes too. You can see it's clear that Peacemaker is trying to help this team though, because that's 3 pauses in one map. I don't think I've ever seen 3 pauses from Tyloo in their history, let alone one map. So clearly he's trying to help them out here. He's got a lot to say. But it's not helping, frankly. Obviously it's not putting the blame onto him, but not much you can do when you're losing every single gunfight you get into. G2 are not letting up. Tyloo with a 3rd out of 4 pauses, a 2nd and final one of the half as well. I don't think they really have enough rounds to even call out another pause. If G2 pick this one up, it will be 15-9 with an eco against them, with 3,400 across the majority of these players. A little bit more in spare change, so very, very close to the closeout of this map. G2 still with a single AWP on Kenny S. We don't see one on the side of Tyloo though. Only 1 kit to play with. Well, Molotovs and smokes are prevalent, but it's the aim battles which they're losing out on, and that's a surprise because Tyloo are a team that love to fight these aim battles and typically come out on top of them.
Choxy once again over in Squeaky. HZ this time, the man looking to try and go toe-to-toe with G2 out towards A main. Re-smoked there by Captain Mo, who has his attention firmly fixated on Squeaky. Kenny S going to be holding the aggression in through A main, and right now G2 playing this round very, very passively, waiting to see if Tyloo try their hand at any early aggression. Well, tough to try and hold Kenny back, but it does miss its mark. He's allowed to just bide his time. Keep the angle locked down. That could have been very bad for Tyloo had they gone for any aggression on the back of that Incendiary. And now as everyone for G2 makes their way up through A main, they also have Shocks over in Squeaky. The push about to come in, and really only one player within the site. The rest can be locked out from utility. They're going to go charging on through. HZ from Highway spraying in through the smoke. They are just going to go ahead and retreat out the site as they play this for a 5v5 in the retake. Bomb plant comes in. Kenny's not looking healthy. Tagged down on 1 HP, still taking these duels. Has to go ahead and fall on back. And what are they going to do if you're Tyloo? Trying to make their way up from truck.
That angle. Oh, it's going to strike eventually, but Kenny doesn't re-peek in for it. It's actually Apex to get flashed through the smoke. Huge performance from him as he takes down Mo, but a trade from Vintet. HZ will fall in the meantime, and currently this is what's happening. G2 are not missing out on a battle. Body and MBK to close out as well. And despite the early start from Tyloo and getting back with a couple of kills, it will not go their way. Once again, G2 closed it out 15-9, and as we said, there's the money busted.
Yeah, this is all or nothing now for Tyloo. They've invested everything they can. What it's got them is a couple of Fameases, some nades scraped and cobbled together. And the Deagle for Captain Mo. Already 2 players over in mid for Tyloo to try and hold back the coming tide of G2. This time I haven't turned any attention out towards middle. Hasn't really been a point that G2 are focused on in these latter couple of rounds. Once again, taking it very slowly. Waiting to see if any aggression does come out from Tyloo, which for the time being it hasn't. HZ boosted up over here on A is a bit of a change. Could lead to them finding something. But you can already see Kenny's a little bit suspicious. He's watching the angle.
Boost over. Mid-control attempted to be taken here. We don't have a lot of fight back from Tyloo other than the Vector control, really. RDD's been doing good work there. He's going to need to step up massively now. A smoke comes in. They're holding it. He's pushed through this before. They are expecting it once again as Apex makes sure that doesn't happen. No monkey business here, but he will decide to go up close to it. Sitting on the edge of the smoke. They need to check this corner, and Body will. They're expecting it. It's rinse and repeat from Tyloo, and G2 know exactly how the game is played. Body and Apex open things up as they run on into the B site. Somebody smoking that molly, trying to move back towards a more passive position as G2 starts around the corner. The aggression is perfect, and MBK is not missing. He takes down somebody. Vintet falling as well as he's overrun, and HZ is going to be the last man standing. This round and game, Harry, is over.
Yeah, HZ in the 1v5. The hopes and dreams of Tyloo resting solely on his shoulders. The flank coming on in, and he's completely unaware. Just cut down by Apex there to finish things off. G2, 16-9 in their favor. Fantastic stuff. I mean, that second half was a bit of a slaughter. It was looking like it was going to be competitive at the end of the first, and then G2 step up in a big way. Congratulations to them. And Tyloo, they did a good job on that T side. Their CT side is still something that clearly does need work. But, you know, we can already see kind of the effects of having Peacemaker there, how that's changing, you know, the way that they are approaching these scenarios. One thing I will say, their CT side did look incredibly stale. You saw that G2, once they figured it out, just rinse, repeat, same thing every round.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is about that is I called it after the first half. I said, you know, this is Tyloo, right? They have the great T side, they are very strong individually, they win those aim battles, they get into the sites, then they switch over to CT and they're plagued by communication issues. You could see it so much into that second half. Not only communication issues, but also just not knowing what to do when G2 are just running into bomb sites and killing everyone. Because aim battles are great, right? But they only go so far. You've got to have some kind of communication as a team, some kind of, you know, switch up. I'd like to see maybe a little more aggression from Tyloo moving over to that CT side, try and and set yourself up towards B early, get that orb. They had a double orb, I think, once or twice in play. They could have at least, you know, gone pushing up onto B main. They could have taken some A main control. We really didn't see too much from Tyloo in terms of switching up the pace of the game. They just kind of went for the same setup every time. And as we saw in that last round, I mean, everyone was watching Vents. DD pushes out, they kill him, boom, there's the first pick. It's just the same thing every single time.
Yeah, I was a little bit fearful at first when I saw G2 and how they were playing. And the fact that Tyloo did look to be in good form on that T side, as exactly as we